This summer, for all of us in the Milky Way, comes Return of the Jedi, the third chapter in the Star Wars saga. This time, the evil Empire is constructing a gigantic new Death Star, which, when finally operational, will smash the good rebels once and for all. The rebels' only hope is to destroy the unfinished Death Star, but it's protected by a powerful energy shield beamed from the moon of Endor. Once they land on the moon of Endor, Han and Leia find themselves in a shootout with the Imperial Guard protecting the power station. And here, in one of the film's most incredible scenes, the rebels chase the guards through the Redwood Forest on Endor. That effect is just astonishing. Well, meanwhile, Luke Skywalker goes to fulfill his destiny and confront the man who may or may not be his father, Darth Vader. And while Luke is fighting it out with Vader, good old Lando Calrissian is commanding an armada of rebel spaceships to blow up the Death Star. Ah, but has Han deactivated the energy shield yet? I'm not going to be the one to tell you whether they escape or not. Return of the Jedi is a great big movie surrounding a tiny little plot. But plot really isn't what Jedi is about anyway. Jedi is mainly about the wonders of filmmaking technology, and it has the most spectacular special effects I've ever seen. Not just spaceships this time, but a whole menagerie of realistically bizarre creatures like a giant hybrid of a frog and a worm named Jabba the Hutt, and an army of furry little bear men called Ewoks. Jedi does have some slow passages here and there, but every time you think it's going to stall, it revs right up again and takes your breath away with another dazzling display of filmmaking. Still, Jedi is more than special effects, and it has something its two predecessors didn't have. It's got some real emotion. We can't ever relive the experience of seeing Star Wars for the first time, but Return of the Jedi is a thrilling, occasionally touching, and fully satisfying conclusion to the best comic book of all time. It's fantastic.
It certainly is. And you know, this movie did several things. It lived up to every challenge it faced. Everybody in the world has been waiting for 3 years for this picture. And it gave you new animals, it gave you new technology, it developed the story, and most important of all, it wrapped it up in a way that you really wanted to see it wrapped up. It had everything to say. It had to be made. It wasn't just made because the other two pictures were so fantastically popular. It really had a story to tell, and that's why it works.
It's not cashing in on the two films like Jaws 2 or something like that. But I think most people want to know about this film. First, how does it compare with the two predecessors? And in my opinion, it compares very, very favorably.
I think it's better than the second one, too, yeah.
Yes, I think, well, it's the conclusion, so it's got the advantage of building to a climax. And second, how different is it from its two predecessors? And I think one thing you can say about this is that it's more elaborate. Physically, it's larger. Bigger sets, bigger special effects.
Not only that, the characters themselves have changed, too. Luke and Han and Leia are older now. They've matured, just as we have along with the Star Wars movies. It's been 6 years already, and you can see changes in their personalities, too, which make it almost totally believable.
Yes, it has more sentiment, as I said, than the other films, because we have grown up with these characters now. We know who they are. They can shorthand these characters. They don't have to develop them in the film. And so because of that, and because it is the conclusion, I think there's a greater emotional impact to this film. And also, we should say that it has longer action sequences.
Yeah.
The action sequences in this film go on for 10 minutes, and yet it's a tribute to the special effects department that you never get bored for an instant.
Almost 1,000 special effects, things they couldn't do in the first one. And it's also like welcoming old friends that you haven't seen in several years.
Absolutely. I don't think anyone's going to be dissatisfied by it.
And I do hope they keep making them every 3 years. Let's hope so.
And now that the Star Wars trilogy is completed, it may be time for some final thoughts.
I think George Lucas is the Disney of the 80s and maybe the 90s if he makes more. Young people and old people can look at these three films and see science fiction as it is meant to be seen. And all of the science fiction films which follow will have to match the Star Wars trilogy in quality and excitement and universal appeal.
Well, I can only look to the film's attraction for me, and I think that they attract me because George Lucas has created the world of children. And he's created the two major aspects of that world. One, magic with all the special effects, and two, the sense of order with the clear delineation between good and evil. And with those two aspects, you feel like a child again as you watch these movies. We both enthusiastically recommend Return of the Jedi. It's got dazzling special effects, great action, and even some genuine feeling, and it holds up to the first two Star Wars. So 2 yeses.
Indeed.
Please like, subscribe, and comment on the video. May the Force be with you.
Impressive. Most impressive.